The median home in the United States now costs $412,000. That is not a beach house in Malibu. That is not a luxury apartment overlooking Central Park. That is the average home price in the U.S. A typical 3-bedroom house in a suburb you might not know, 45 minutes from the nearest city. But let's look at reality. In San Francisco, the median home price is $1.3 million. In Boston, it is $700,000. In Idaho, it is $450,000. Yes, Idaho, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate is 6.8%. The federal funds rate is 4.5%. That is down from its peak. It is still far from the 2.6% deals people got just 4 years ago. Here is a number that should surprise you. In 1980, the median home cost 3.5 times the household income. Today, that ratio is 8.1. So in 2 generations, housing has gone from being pricey to being crazy expensive. For people in American cities, buying a home on one's salary is no longer possible. The question is not, can I afford a house? The real question is, which city can my salary actually buy a home in now? That is what we are going to figure out today. No fantasies, no TV show nonsense, the facts. Before we look at what each salary bracket can buy, you need to understand one number. 28. That is the debt-to-income ratio used by every major U.S. lender, like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Chase, and Wells Fargo. They take your monthly income and they do not want your housing expenses to be more than 28% of it. Your housing expenses are not your mortgage. They include principal, interest, property taxes, homeowner's insurance, and HOA fees. The bank combines all of these into one number. That number cannot be more than 28% of your gross monthly pay. If you earn the American household income of $71,000, your maximum monthly housing budget is $1,650. Not a penny more. Most first-time buyers do not realize this. The bank does not care what rate you are paying today. They test if you can repay at a higher rate. They also look at your expenses. They check your back-end ratio, which is 36%, including your car payment, student loans, and credit cards. That is why a couple can walk into a mortgage appointment expecting $400,000 and walk out with $250,000 approved. The bank is not being mean. It is protecting itself. Frankly, after 2008, it is protecting you from yourself. Let us start with the person in the country. The latest information from the Census Bureau says that the middle household income is $71,000. That is an amount of money. Let us see what you can actually buy with it. At 6.8% over 30 years, every $1,000 of mortgage costs you $6.50 per month. Let us do the math the way around. If your total housing budget is $1,650, we subtract the typical property tax and insurance, which is roughly $400 in most areas. That leaves $1,250 for the mortgage itself. That means you can afford a mortgage of $190,000. Add a 10% down payment, which is $19,000 that you have somehow managed to save while paying rent, and your total buying power is roughly $210,000. Now what can you buy with $210,000 in the housing market? In the Midwest, you have a lot of options. For example, in Cleveland, Ohio, the median price is $160,000. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it is $180,000. You can buy a 3-bedroom house with a yard. In the South, there are parts of Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi where you can find houses for under $200,000. Then there are places where the prices are really high. In Colorado, the median price is $580,000. In Washington State, it is $550,000. In Massachusetts, it is $600,000. If you only have the income, it is really hard to afford a house on the coasts. We have not even talked about the states where property taxes are very high. In New Jersey, the average property tax is $9,000 per year. That is $750 per month before you even buy any furniture. In Illinois, it is $6,000. In Hawaii, it is $2,000. Where you live in America is not about the place. It is also about the taxes you have to pay. It is like your location is a tax bracket. You are in a different situation now. You have $100,000. This puts you in the 34% of American households. Let us see what that actually means when it comes to things like drywall and granite countertops. Gross monthly income is $8,300. 28% of that is $2,324. If you subtract $500 for taxes and insurance, you are looking at $1,800 for the mortgage. This means you can afford a mortgage of $275,000. If you put down a 10% deposit, your budget is $302,000. In Texas, except for Austin, you can buy a 4-bedroom home with a 2-car garage. In Phoenix, you can buy a 3-bedroom stucco ranch. In Charlotte, you can buy a construction townhouse. What about San Francisco? $300,000 will only get you a parking space. Maybe you can find a studio in a building with a roach problem. The median price in San Francisco is $1.3 million. You are not even close to being in the league. You are not even playing the game. There is a problem that catches people who earn a lot of money off guard. When you cross income thresholds, you start to lose some of your tax deductions. The mortgage interest deduction only applies to mortgages up to $750,000. Property tax deductions are capped at $10,000. In California, where property taxes on a home can be $12,000 and state income tax adds another $8,000, you are paying taxes on money you never even got to keep. You found your dream house. You got your mortgage offer. Job done, right? Not even close. The property system has another surprise for you. Homeowners Insurance. In 2023, the average cost was $1,400. In 2025, it is $2,400. In Florida, where climate risks high, you pay $6,000 a year for a standard 3-bedroom home. In California, where wildfire risk premiums doubled in 18 months. Hey, race the thing. If you put down then 20%, you pay private mortgage insurance, PMI. That's 1 to 2% of the loan value each year. On a $300,000 loan, that's $3,000 to $6,000 per year, $200 to $500 per month. That does not build equity. It's like renting. You think you own the home. Then there's the Homeowners Association, HOA. If you buy in a planned community in Arizona or Florida, you pay $300 to $500 per month. That's for someone to tell you what color you can paint your door. Let's add it all up. On a $300,000 home with 10%, your monthly costs are not just the mortgage. It's the mortgage plus $600 in taxes plus $200 in insurance plus $300 in HOA. You pay 40% more than the listed price every month for 30 years. Here is the reality of the housing market in 2025. For people, the path to homeownership does not run through one salary. It runs through two. According to the National Association of Realtors, 65% of home buyers were married couples. The median household income of buyers is $97,000. Take two earners. Their combined income is $95,000. Gross monthly, it's $7,900. 28% of that gives you $2,200 for housing. That supports a mortgage of $340,000. With 10%, your budget is $375,000. Now we are talking. In Dallas, that buys you a 4-bedroom house in a good school district. In Atlanta, it's a renovated craftsman house. In Minneapolis, you can get a lake property if both partners earn $60,000. A common professional household total. The numbers change completely. Their combined income is $120,000. Monthly housing budget is $2,800. Mortgage capacity is $420,000. With a $60,000 deposit, 20% to avoid PMI. Your budget is $480,000. At that level, you can compete in every market except San Francisco, Manhattan, and coastal Southern California. You can buy in Denver, in Miami, in Seattle suburbs, in Boston exurbs. That is the dual income advantage. Having two incomes does not just add to your position in the market, it multiplies it. The bank will tell you how much they can lend you. They won't check if you can afford groceries after paying them back. So here's a rule that really matters. The 28% rule. take your income before taxes, multiply it by 0.28. That's the most you can spend on housing. Not just the loan, everything. Loan, interest, taxes, insurance, HOA fees, flood insurance, earthquake insurance. If you need them, let's try it with the household income. $71,000. That's $5,900 a month. 28% of that is $1,650. Now subtract property tax. Let's say $300. Insurance, $200. That leaves $1,150 for your loan payment. At 6.8% interest, that means you can afford a loan of $170,000. Not the $200,000 the bank said you could get. Not the $300,000 Zillow says you can afford. $170,000. That's the difference between what a computer says and what helps you sleep at night. The difference between owning a home and owning a problem that keeps you up at 3 a.m. What do you actually do? If you are watching this in California, in New York, in Massachusetts, and you are earning the income, the math is not broken. You are just in the place for your salary. The ability to work from anywhere is not a bonus anymore. It is a way to survive. Getting a San Francisco salary while living in Boise, in Pittsburgh, in Cincinnati is not a thing. It is a way to get ahead. You have the video meetings. You get your money deposited directly into your bank account. Your housing costs are half as much. You can save twice as much money. You can plan for the future. You can buy a house, rent out part of it. You buy a house with 2 units, you live in 1 unit. You rent out the other unit. This way your renter helps pay your mortgage. You buy a 3-bedroom house, rent out 2 rooms to friends for a few years. Here is the truth that nobody will tell you when you are looking at a house. Your house should help you build wealth. It should be the starting point, the thing that gets more valuable while you are not even thinking about it. Your house should never be the thing that causes you problems. If the taxes, the insurance, the homeowners association fees and the mortgage take 40% of your income, you do not really own that house. The house is actually in control, not you. The American dream used to be simple. 1 income, a fixed mortgage for 30 years and a backyard barbecue on Sundays. People thought it was easy. Now it's all about numbers. 28% of your income is what you should spend on housing. You often need 2 incomes. The area you live in matters. You have to be disciplined and buy a house that you can really afford, not one that the bank says you can pay for. If you do it right, you can build wealth over time. If you make a mistake, you might end up with a lot of debt and feel trapped. If this video changed how you think about the housing market, please subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the video.